What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are checking out this Ferrari F8 Tributo. I know we are a bit late to the party, but we just weren't able to get one, and now we have found a very kind and cool owner, Jacco, who has allowed us to take out his F8 Tributo, and it is not a stock one. We've got a Novitec exhaust as well, which sounds amazing. So today I'm going to show you around it. We're going to talk about the F8, what it is, why it's called a Tributo, why it looks so freaking mean, and of course then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. So the F8 Tributo, why is it called that? It is a tribute to the mid-engined coupes at Ferrari. They have been doing this since 1975 with the 308 GTB, and it sort of feels like this might be the last one. It's probably the last one with just an internal combustion engine, the 3.9 liter V8, which has won so many Engine of the Year awards. It is a freaking insane engine, and in this Tributo it is in its top form. They have taken lessons learned from the 488 Pista and from the 488 Challenge race car, integrated that into this engine, and it is a freaking rocket. It is insane. So that fucking hell. So that is why it's called Tributo. They are basically paying tribute to themselves, which is very Ferrari, of course. And you might think that it does look a lot like a 488. Well, it kind of does and it doesn't. The doors and the roof are taken from the 488. It is basically a very comprehensive facelift, but there is some new stuff on it, and it does feel quite different from a 488. Now, it is also lighter than a 488. 30 kilos, 40 kilos even if you go for carbon wheels, which saves you another 10 kilos. But that is down to lighter front bumper, rear bumper, carbon fiber spoiler, titanium engine parts, and the Lexan rear screen. So this is plastic basically. Very cool. Very lightweight, and that is why it is lighter than a 488. So it's around 1435 kilos, which is not very heavy. Now at the front, I mean, aero is everything nowadays at Ferrari. I mean, they live for this stuff and it pays off. And I mean, is it a pretty car? I'm not sure. It looks so mean and so aggressive. The visual aggression on this car is really insane. Even, you know, standing here, it's kind of a intimidating car. And we do have some aero here from the Pista, the S duct, which is air sucked in from here and flows out over the bonnet for more downforce. A lot of downforce. The aerodynamic efficiency has increased by 10% compared to the 488, and that is down to that S duct. We've got vortex generators under the body. We've got a new diffuser. They have repackaged the radiators at the front, so we have a new front diffuser as well. The rear diffuser is active with flaps. I'll show you guys. So you've got these flaps here. That's 1, 2, and 3. They are active, and that means that you've got a lot of speed, a lot of downforce. All the technology that Ferrari throws at this car means that you can absolutely floor it and be super safe and be super fast. That is basically their goal. Anyone can drive this car fast as long as you keep the systems on. Now, as you can see, basically every body panel has some sort of vent or duct in it, and that is, it just feels like it's so purposeful, you know. Everything has been made to flow air, to grab air, to force air down or up. And I mean, is it a pretty car? Probably not. Does it look cool? Yeah, very. Okay, so front lights, nice and aggressive, quite narrow, and then above that again we've got this air duct for more downforce. Then we've got the wheels, quite a nice wheel, a bit of a classic design actually, which I quite like. So these are 20-inch at the front. Do we have stacked wheels? 20s at the rear as well? No. And then we've got carbon ceramic Brembo brakes behind that, which are amazing. Braking performance is ridiculous, but that's also down to the lightness of the car, of course. Pirelli P0 rubber around that. Nice little side skirt down there, which is more pronounced at the rear. And then we've got a big intake here as well. And then we've got two new intakes, exterior intakes here and here, which that is taken from the 488 Challenge car, the race car. And then we've also got this blown spoiler integrated here in the rear. And then look at that rear. This is such a cool rear end. It's kind of SF90-ish mixed with 488. Beautiful dual exhaust. As I said, Novitec exhaust, which does make it sound really, really good. So it's the rear silencer, the downpipes, and the OPF is gone as well. Now let's open the lightweight rear window. That is lightweight. It's also kind of F40-ish, you know, with the louvers, with the plastic. I kind of like how they made a tribute to the mid-engined V8 Ferrari. It kind of feels like it's the end of an era, but we'll see. I mean, the 296 GTB has like 800 horsepower with a V6, so yeah, I'm afraid that it is the end of the V8. But there it is, all the way down there, as you can see. And 3.9 V8, as I said, 720 horsepower and 770 newton meters of torque. Now the titanium rods, the crankshaft and flywheel have been taken from the 488 Pista. That is also part of the weight saving, as I said, but it's also why the engine revs so free. So it's like 17% decrease in inertia. And the thing just revs out like crazy, and the red line is at 8 and it just revs all the way to that red line, and then it just stops, and then it's the next gear, and this engine is insane. And when we drove the 488, I was super impressed by the engine because it's just ridiculous, but it didn't really offer me the excitement that I look for in a Ferrari. Well, I'm happy to say, ladies and gentlemen, that it is back with this one. And that is probably partly down to that Novitec exhaust, but the engine itself also feels a bit different. All right, so interior wise, we've got a very cool spec with these race buckets with 4-point harnesses, which have like a quick release, like a regular belt buckle, which is great because it means you can daily drive it and still feel relatively comfortable. A lot of carbon fiber, passenger display as well, and then we've got the cockpit in front of us. So I'll start it up, straighten the wheel so you guys can see it. So this is the view you're used to nowadays from Ferrari. 2 screens on either side of the big rev counter, which is yellow. Very nice. We do have an engine control system failure light, as you can see, which is down to the fact that this car has downpipes from Novitec with sport cats, so it is quite a bit louder than stock, but that's also why we have an engine management light. So no worries, the car is doing really well. And then, I mean, we have an Atelier badge right there, so the car has been spec'd properly with a lot of Alcantara, carbon everywhere, and we've got a lift system. I just saw that one as well. Super, super nice. And of course the new steering wheel by Ferrari with the flat bottom and everything on there, with the new LEDs as well. Well, new compared to our Ferraris, of course, it is all new. And then we've got a nice bridge here in carbon as well, and a USB port for CarPlay here, which costs like 3,200 euros in the Netherlands, that option, which is ridiculous. And then we've also got a little remote for the valve in the exhaust, so you can actually close it. That is pretty manageable for daily driving, I would say. And this exhaust combined with this engine is quite a bit of magic, because you have a bit of that high-pitched V8 sound you want from like a 458 in there, and I don't know, it just works really, really well. So let's take it for a drive. We've got the 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, of course, and we've got the Manatino set in the orange setting. So not the most aggressive one with everything off, but the second one, which is the best one, in my opinion. Okay, manual mode. Let's take it for a drive. Now, let's do the tunnel. Second gear. Oh, this thing is so brutal. It has so much power and everything happens so quickly. It is amazing. So the goal with this car was to combine the usability, the daily drivability of the 488 with the sharpness and the aggression and the excitement of a 488 Pista. Well, I would say that they have succeeded. This thing is mental. Absolutely savage. It is insane. Everything happens so quickly. The acceleration, the shifts, the gear shifts are so quick. The downshifts, oh, that is insane. And then the deceleration with these carbon ceramics is amazing as well. And it just means that the tempo inside this car, when you are driving on a nice B road, the tempo is so high. And with tempo, I mean everything. Like, the acceleration is relentless. But that's also down to it's also down to the fact that it shifts so quickly and so seamlessly, and it's got very short gear ratios. So you're constantly up and down shifting. Oh man, this thing, it's like I've got a direct connection to this car. And then that exhaust, as I said, it adds this high-pitched, raspy sound to the car that I'm not sure is there in a stock version. I don't know, because I've never driven a stock exhaust on a Tributo, but I'm going to guess that it's not there normally. And the way it breaks traction as well is so freaking nice. The steering is quick too, but you know, we know that from Ferrari. It's quick, but it's not nervous. We're actually going to change the speedo, so we have a big... Oh, you have to be stationary for that? Come on, guys. Okay, right display, digital speed, there we go. Oh, it is such an aggressive thing, but it's not intimidating, it's not scary, it's just letting you know that there is a lot of power available and that you should handle with care. And there we go, full throttle. And the way it picks up speed is just ridiculous. I mean, I feel like we just left and we're at 312, whatever. it's so stable. The way it accelerates is like it's in a vacuum. And that of course is down to that arrow. I have to brake now. This is the best supercar you can buy today. It might be the best supercar ever made. It is the most insane car stock I think there is in this supercar segment. I mean, how is this car doing everything so well? And we've even still got a bumpy road mode for the suspension. I don't need it. On this road, it's so good, the suspension. The chassis is magic. It just handles the power and it allows you to extract a lot of performance from the car. And that was 348 kilometers an hour on the Speedo. I mean, how insane is this? So we also measured 100 to 200. Ferrari claims 4.9 seconds, but we actually had some traction issues at 100 kilometers an hour. So when you're accelerating, doing the 100 to 200, ideally you start at like 80, but it was just not really getting the traction it needs. If you have like Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires on this car, I'm sure you will get 4.9. We did 5.2, which is not bad. Oh, and it sounds like that. There we go again on the Autobahn. Oh, the shifts get more aggressive the closer you get to that rev limiter, 8,000 RPM. And it just keeps going. It feels like it just keeps getting faster and faster. Like the laws of physics do not apply to the F8. That's it, guys. I'm going to end it here. Jacco, thank you so much for allowing us to drive your F8. It has been a pleasure and an honor. You have bought an insane car. Really, really, really impressive. Absolutely in love with it. Thanks so much to you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as well. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. And as always, you can check out this video or this review. I'll see you at the next one.